right. As I kind of broke this out, you kind of have a couple different errors in provider compensation. So how did we get here? The first one is I'd call the local accountant story, which I kind of talked about, which was in the 80s, most physicians operated underneath a small practice. You probably have 5 providers in a practice. Maybe some own it, some don't. At the end of the year, you just allocate your income to your owners. Your local CPA probably helped you with that. Then you went through this growth phase. You started having HMOs, a little bit of consolidation, and this is when you started getting more employment models in the area. And then in the 90s and 2000s, I call this kind of the regulation area. This is when the Medicare physician fee schedule came out. That was very impactful. That is when the work RVU was first adopted. It was in the early 90s. I think it was passed in 89, I believe, the Budget Act.
Implemented in 92.
92, then implemented, yeah. So then most organizations use work RVUs as a metric to compensate physicians. One is it's payer agnostic. So if you're like a health system like VCU or IU Health, you probably have a lot of Medicare and Medicaid patients. Work RVUs or a good measure of clinical production without considering the payer mix. It's also good because you can use it across a lot of different specialties, but it's also been highly distorted right now, right? There's not a lot of scientific methodologies on how to evaluate procedures, probably some misvaluation. A lot of small medical groups or specialty areas have lobbied very successfully through the AMA to get some valuations done. And then now in the 2010s, we're probably in a different era where I would say it's all about provider compensation plans and private investment. We've had a lot of private equity. There is a lot of capital on the sideline, and it's being injected into these physician practices, also into medical groups. Optum for all is probably a phrase that you hear. They employ 100,000 physicians, I think, in the U.S. So that's about 10% of the labor workforce is employed by Optum.